with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau finally removing most COVID-19 travel restrictions this month, many Canadians are left wondering who can claim credit for these changes. Alberta MLA Casey Modu, who was Canada's first ever black provincial Minister of Justice, made headlines this week when crediting Freedom Convoys for the partial return to normalcy. It never was about science but about political control and power, Modu stated. Thanks to all those citizens, Freedom Convoys, who had the courage to mobilize against these tyrannical policies. They endured a lot hate, name-calling, suffered, and vilified, on behalf of all of us. I thank them. Unsurprisingly, Modu's comments sparked strong reactions. Few things in Canadian politics seem to get a rise out of social media users quite like commenting on vaccine policies. Regardless of how you feel about trucker convoys, we should all be able to acknowledge the significance of Modu's comments. He is a prominent black Canadian leader expressing support for trucker convoys, which contradicts Trudeau's narrative about Canadians who oppose his policies. For months, Trudeau has misrepresented the trucker convoy as racist and white supremacist. He has sought to delegitimize the protests by arguing only hateful, ignorant people can empathize with such demands. But it was never true that opposition to vaccine passports and mandates was a racist or white supremacist movement. This week, Modu helped to correct the record. Dr. Leslyn Lewis, the first black woman to run for leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, has made similar points in support of the trucker convoy and its relevance to minority communities. Journalist Rupa Subramania documented the diversity of the trucker convoy on the ground, in Ottawa, earlier this year. The Instagram account Puck for Freedom Convoy archived hundreds of videos of people of color speaking out against Trudeau's vaccine policies. A reason all of these people push back on Trudeau's narrative is that the Prime Minister's policies did disproportionately exclude and marginalize people of color. Even CBC News would have to acknowledge this disproportionality. It's unfortunate that the significance of Modu's message is being ignored by Canadian journalists. The top reply to Modu on Twitter is from Jodie Vance, who identifies herself as the Canadian correspondent for Al Jazeera English. Vance accuses Modu of leaning into disinformation, and she seems completely uncurious as to why Modu is making such a point. In response to questions about Modu from reporters, Alberta Premier Jason Kenney declined to comment but shared an observation on journalists. I know for some of you in the media, your job when it comes to politics is to be fight promoters. Of course, it is fair to disagree with Modu. Mount Royal University's Dwayne Bratt, for example, raised worthwhile questions in response to Modu's statement. Does your support of freedom convoys include the one that shut down a border crossing at Coutts, Alberta? Several of those individuals have been criminally charged with major offenses. Were they the good guys? But Canadians deserve the truth about who is engaging in debates about the direction of our country, and why. That means pointing out that Trudeau blatantly misrepresents the people who oppose his policies, and most of the media doesn't seem to care.